Hey, what's up, Facebook Live? Paul Sullivan coming to you live from sunny El Paso, Texas. I hope everyone had an awesome week. As you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from, city, state, country. If you're new to my broadcast, type in the word new in the comments. If you're a replay viewer, drop a 1 in the comments. Again, my name is Paul Sullivan. I'm an entrepreneur, athlete, teacher, and U.S. Army veteran. By the way, if you click on the share button, type in the word share in the comments below, and I'll do my best to give you guys a shout out. So I'm super excited, fired up. I've been going over Napoleon Hill's Keys to Success. If you haven't already, go back and check out some of my other videos. Today I'm going to be going over Chapter 4, Use Applied Faith. So let's jump right into it. Faith is your awareness of, belief in, and harmonizing with the universal powers. You should not simply have faith, you must use it. So we have to walk by faith. We have to step out in faith. No doubt you have heard and read numerous definitions of faith, many of which involve religious convictions. For the purpose of this chapter, your own spiritual beliefs are not important, except that you will learn to put them and much more into daily practices. Faith is a state of mind. For it to be useful to you in achieving lasting success, it must be an active, not a passive faith. Active faith is the process of relating yourself to the vital forces of the world, which I call infinite intelligence. So again, it's about action. We have to take those actions every single day to build our faith. In the word, it says, we walk by faith, not by sight. And faith without good deeds is dead. If you guys are getting value out of this so far, drop a 2 in the comments below. Next, he talks about understanding infinite intelligence. It is impossible to have active applied faith without a positive, definite belief in a supreme being. There are many approaches to gaining such a belief. Observation, experimentation, feeling, prayer, meditation, and thought are all legitimate paths. You learn things by seeing their effects or by accepting the statements of people you trust. In your search for knowledge about infinite intelligence, you may search within the external universe or within yourself. So that's very interesting. That's something I need to learn more about. Okay. So next, he talks about the external world. Thinking people have always seen evidence of infinite intelligence in the external world. Every process of nature is orderly. The sun does not rise in the east today and the west tomorrow. Natural law endures and obtains everywhere. Such order, such continuing adherence to law clearly implies intelligent planning and definiteness of purpose, ample evidence of infinite intelligence. As Tennyson wrote, the sun, the moon, the stars, the seas, the hills, and the plains, are not these, O soul, the vision of him who reigns? You know, it's interesting because we can feel the winds move in every direction, but we can't see the winds. Okay, next he talks about the internal world. You have many senses which allow you to evaluate the external world: touch, sight, hearing, taste, smell. But you also have senses which put you in touch with another reality. The beauty of a mastermind alliance is that it puts you in touch with the creative powers of others, connecting mind to mind, opening the subconscious of each member to the power of infinite intelligence. So that's very interesting how we have our internal world and our mastermind alliances where we can all come together and connect in one mind on a goal or a dream. Drop a 5 in the comments below if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Next is overcoming disbelief. Remember, faith is a state of mind which develops by conditioning your mind to receive infinite intelligence. Applied faith is the adaptation of the power of infinite intelligence to your definite major purpose. Applied faith is the dynamo of the science of personal achievement, the source of the energy to put your thoughts into action. So we have to overcome these disbeliefs. In faith, you temporarily relax your own reason and willpower and open your mind completely to the flow of infinite intelligence. So we have to believe in ourselves, believe in others. And then he gives us 3 steps. Number 1 is to express a definite desire for the achievement of a purpose and relate it to one or more of the basic human motives. Number 2, create a definite and specific plan for attaining that desire. And number 3, start acting on that plan, putting every conscious effort behind it. Next, he talks about overcoming fear. By the way, if you guys are getting value out of this or know anyone that can benefit from it, please share it. Okay, so overcoming fear. An important part of opening your mind to faith is ridding your mind of the fears which limit your belief. There are 7 basic fears. Nearly everyone suffers from at least one. Some of us must conquer them all. Here are the 7 fears. How you can recognize their presence in your life and how you can banish them. The first fear is the fear of poverty. This is the most destructive of the 7 basic fears and the hardest to master because it brings so much suffering and misery. Much of the fear of poverty comes from our bitter experiences in dealing with others who have proved untrustworthy and willing to exploit us for their own benefits. Okay, so number 1 is a lack of ambition. Do you accept whatever life hands out without challenging it? Are you mentally and physically lazy? Then adopt a positive driving ambition to vanquish the symptom of the fear of poverty. Number 2, failure to make your own decisions. Do others determine everything that happens in your life? Do not surrender the most precious gift of your Creator. Make your own decisions and become self-determining. Number 3, making excuses for your failures. Do you offer alibis for your lack of achievements? Do you envy and criticize the successes of others? Accept that only you are responsible for what happens to you. They say, you can either make excuses or you can make money, but you can't make both. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, drop your favorite emoji in the comments below. And number 4, a negative mental attitude. This is the greatest limitation to the fear of poverty imposes, and it can encompass all the others. Discard pessimism. Expect that things will go your way and act accordingly. Do not put things off, avoid responsibility, or live beyond your means. Instead, work to make your life better, and it will be. The second fear is criticism. Number 1, keeping up with the Joneses. Trying to maintain the front of being the most current, most affluent person on the block can cripple you, both financially and emotionally. You see, people buy things to impress people that they don't even know and that they don't even like. Number 2, bragging about your achievements. You do this to cover up feelings of inferiority. You imitate success rather than attain it. It's fine if your definite major purpose includes community recognition, but if you gain a false recognition, you will be constantly haunted by the prospect of exposure as a fraud. Number 3, being easily embarrassed. This causes you to be unable to make firm decisions, to fear meeting people, and to lack of self-confidence. The third fear is the fear of ill health. Okay, number 1, the drugstore habit. Do you run to the pharmacist every time some new cure-all is advertised? Have you consumed mountains of garlic, ginseng, and oat bran? I know I'm guilty of this. Taking care of yourself is important, but looking to pills diverts your attention from recognizing your own mental attitude toward your health is the most important factor in your good health. Number 2, the habit of self-pity. Do the slightest pains and discomforts keep you in bed? In some condition, your excuses for not acting. Dwell on that condition, surrender to it, and you are finished. Number 3, the habit of substance abuse. It may be drink, it may be drugs, but it's there only to cover up your fear of some mental or physical pain. So, those are the 3 different habits of ill health. Okay, the 4th fear is the loss of love. And he goes on to talk about a man who once lost everything. And the fear of the loss of love is so intimate and so easily understood that it isn't necessary to elaborate on its symptoms. Simply cultivate your relationships with a positive mental attitude. Give them your all, and instead of being the source of fear to you, they will be a bastion of strength and courage. The 5th fear is old age. The fear of old age causes you to slow down and develop a feeling of inferiority. Whether you're 30, 40, 60, or 70, you become convinced that you have let opportunities slip by and that your best years are behind you. Nothing could be further from the truth. Every moment of your life has passed by, has taught you invaluable lessons that you can apply today. Hey Paul, what's up? It's good to see you. The best way to confront this fear is to jump on with both feet and laugh about it. Whenever you have a birthday, subtract a year from your age instead of adding one. Alright, the 6th fear is loss of liberty. No matter where you live in any country, the fear of the loss of freedom is present. For those suffering in police states rather than enjoying the liberty that Americans possess, the fear is great. But many other forces can work to limit your freedom. The only way to fight this fear is to take an active role in defending the institutions that preserve your liberty. The rights we enjoy in this country were won through bitter years of struggle, and they can be maintained only by constant vigilance. So we got to be vigilant. It's all about, defending our freedoms. By the way, if you're new to my broadcast, drop a 2 in the comments below. And if you're just hopping on, go back, you can check out the replay. Now the 7th fear is death. This fear is the grandfather of all others. It is very difficult to whip because it is so universal in our society, and because it is constantly reinforced on a daily basis. There is no escape from death, and no matter what faiths we have, death is an unknown, for we have never experienced it. Complete, absolute answers about its nature are impossible, and it is human nature to fear anything we do not understand. So we don't understand death, and we've never experienced death. That's why people fear death. The truth is, fear of death can stop you in your tracks much sooner than the actual event. And he goes on to talk about how we can succeed in quieting this fear. I have looked at life and death and the nature of the world. I have recognized that only 2 conclusions are possible. Death is either one long, eternal sleep or an experience on some plane far better than we have here on earth. Either way, there is nothing to fear because it is inevitable. Recognizing this allows you to write off the fear of death. You don't discuss it, you don't think about it. You simply realize that at one time or another you will face it, and there will be nothing you can do about it. So you accept this fact, for only a simple-minded person worries about something over which he or she has no control. Okay, next he talks about replacing fear with hope. The fundamental lesson in dealing with the fear of death is learning to set it aside. This should be your goal with each of the fears. For whatever you fear will allow you around like a For whatever you fear will follow you around like a puppy. Your mind attracts anything it dwells upon. It's the law of attraction. You become what you think about. As a man thinketh, so is he. Most people go through life thinking about the things they don't want to happen. And they probably experience every one of them. So think about positive things, think about your goals, think about the things that you do want. Visualize those things and believe that you can achieve it. He goes on to talk about, wouldn't it be a better idea than to refuse to think about the things you don't want and to feed your mind with pictures of things you do want? There's nothing more important than learning the art of keeping your mind focused upon the things, conditions, and circumstances you really want. This is the greatest application of applied faith you can make. When your mind has definiteness of purpose, you are in a condition to start having faith. And when you have faith, you can call upon infinite intelligence to apply it. Faith exists only so long as it is used. You cannot develop muscles by not using them. You cannot increase your capital by not investing it. Persistent action backed by definiteness of purpose will pump up your faith. So it's like working out at the gym and building your muscle, right? You got to build that faith muscle. Day in and day out, you got to be persistent and consistent. Master the mundane. It might be boring, but that's what we got to do if we want to be successful. So I hope this brings you guys some value. If it did, feel free to like, comment, or share it. I appreciate your guys' time. Again, my name is Paul Sullivan. I'm an entrepreneur, athlete, teacher, and U.S. Army veteran. Again, if you're just hopping on, go back, check out the replay. And I appreciate your guys' time. Until next time, you guys have an awesome weekend. Peace.